Hey, what is happening, guys? My name's Chris. I'm the noise at the back. I'm doing a little bit of a different video today. I'm talking about one of my other passions, which is photography. I'm currently doing a HND in photography with the British Academy of Photography. And what I am really passionate about, and I've found this out very recently, is motorsport photography. So I love taking pictures of cars, I've taken pictures of motorsport. So I recently was lucky enough to go to Goodwood. This is my portfolio, so this is one of the things. So, static shots of cars, not a problem. Some of the ones that I've taken, I've been really proud of. Really like, I love like that Porsche, giving it a different bit of a different angle, sort of thing, something like that. Very, very proud of that. Very happy with that. The one thing I struggled with was catching things in motion. So, for example, this, you can probably guess that this car is drifting around a corner, but you would never guess that this car was moving. So this was, when I got back, this was the thing I spotted the most. I was able to blur out the background a little bit, which was good, but as you can see, it just looks like it's standing there, when actually it was driving along and I was taking the picture as it was going. Now, where I went wrong was my shutter speed. I had it 1/4000th or 1/1000th, so I was miles out, absolutely miles out. But while that is amazing for freezing action, it doesn't give that sense of speed. So I was like, right, okay, what can I do about this? So yeah, so I've got like the Subaru here. It's a good example, where it just looks like it's sat on the track, waiting to go, when actually it was moving at a fairly decent pace. It wasn't going too fast. So if I go back, very recently, I was able to go to the Silverstone WEC and look at the LMP cars. So you can immediately see straight away I got the sort of shots I was looking for. So let's have a look at the Rebellion to start with. Okay, so now this is exactly the sort of shot I wanted. I was able to blur the background, I was able to get the wheels blurred, I was able to give that sense of speed. How I did this was that I dropped my shutter speed right down to about 160, 100, 250, that sort of range. And then with my camera, if I grab my camera now, I was able then just to spin. I know I've got the lens cap on, but I'm not actually taking pictures. And then I was able to follow the car, track the car, put it on a continuous shot. So basically I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as I go round. That allowed me to then have the car in focus, but then able to track it all the way. Now, I reckon probably 2 out of 6 photos kind of came out looking half decent. A lot of them came out blurred. Depending on how good your autofocus is, yeah, that will make a massive difference. What I was finding is that I would click onto the car and then I would autofocus and then follow it and then with my camera getting it across. So for me, that's how I did it. But like I said before, I'm not a pro. This is me very much learning my stripes. So I was able just to get in. With that one, I was able to pick up the crane and the car in the background getting wheeled away as well. Once again, the tires are blurred, sense of speed. We've got this one as well. It's just coming around the corner. Beautiful Porsche. Sense of speed in the wheels. So this one here, I think was about 250. Between that and 160, I think, for my shutter speed. I then opened out a little bit more, and I was taking things around about 250, 1/250th, and 1/320th. So that just allowed me to get a little bit of sense of speed in the tyres and in the wheels. As you can see, like the Michelin sponsorship is blurred and the wheels are blurred, so it gives that idea that they're moving. But then also I can then almost kind of get a lot of the detail on both cars as well. So that's how I was able to do it with more than just one focus shot. I also meant that my f-stop kind of went up to about f14 sort of area. But I reckon between f10 and f14. So I kind of played around a little bit depending on the light and etc. Most of my ISO was in the hundreds because it was such a lovely bright summer's day. Going through, Another one of an LMP car, giving it some beans. Those are the boys to beat on the day. Once again, tracking the car, panning it, and I think I probably would take like the front portion of the car and then all the way till it passes me. So there's a couple lot more on here where it's got the back of the car. This one I love because I'm using the DHL sign in the background just to blur in, actually add that blur. So I think if you can get something that's not just lines that you can almost blur with them. So I've got a couple more where it's just got, so like if you just look at the track lines or the background in this one, it's not quite the same as that one because you can really get that sense of speed. Now this shot here was when I was getting really daring and right down to about 1/100th shutter speed. So this is really just trying to get that car focused. And like I said, I probably took it when it was kind of over that way somewhere, and then just tracked it, got that focus locked on, got that camera locked on, followed the speed as it was going around. Now, the key to this really is, and one thing I really learned, and the difference between this event at Silverstone and the Goodwood one was try not to take shots of cars on straights. Get them going around the bends, get them going around the corners. That's the way I discovered that you can get these shots. Now, these cars are probably going a lot slower than that picture makes it look, but you don't need to know that. Well, the viewer doesn't need to know that, but we're talking that. Got a couple of nice bit closer one with this one. This is a much bigger photo which I've cropped down. I managed to get a fair amount of the detail in, which I'm really, really pleased about. And one of my other tips for the day, especially if you are of shorter stature, a bit like myself, I'm only 5'8", is get a foldable stool. So you can get them from like Amazon and places like that, and they are literally collapse down, and then they collapse, and then you pop the thing and they open up, and it gives me about another foot. So for example, this shot here, there was actually a fence, massive fence in the way, so I was able to stand up higher and point and shoot down, and then and I didn't have this on the day, but my addition of my I basically got this to help me keep the camera nice and steady as well. This extends. So this is like I think it's a monopod, I think it's called, rather than a tri. So rather than the 3, this just keeps it nice and neat. And what happens is this rotates as well, so I can rotate that around when it's on top of the thing as well. But it keeps this camera nice and steady, which allows me also to shoot at a much slower shutter speed. Now the guy I went away with the weekend, he was a lot more daring than me and was going down to like 1/130th and 1/160, and I was like, there's no chance of me dropping down that low. I think for me about 1/100th was bang on. And there we go. That's another one. Once again, I probably started the car when it was coming around the corner, front of it, side of it, onto the back. So there you go, like that. Another nice one. Amazing livery on this car. Spent pretty much the whole day trying to get all of that in focus. It's quite hard because you're obviously aiming for the front of the car. You want to get that front, but you also want to kind of get all the detail on the back. So it's a little bit blurred on the back, but I mean, I was probably a fair old distance away. Then I was incredibly lucky when I was doing my wider shots, trying to get some action shots like the one of the Porsche and the Ferrari earlier. I managed to catch this. Now, you don't want to see people crash, but as a photographer, it was very exciting, and you're immediately like that, trying to get your shots. Yeah, I caught that one. I'm so happy with that one. I feel for the guys in the cars, but it's a cool action shot. I'm very proud of that one. This one's from height as well. One of the things that I did do is I made sure that I had a big enough lens. Now this is only my 300mm up to 300mm. There it goes. Lens. I think if I was going to go next time, and if I can get some more money, I probably have something up to about 400mm. The guy I was with had a 400mm lens and was getting some fantastic results. It just had that little bit extra, especially if you're going from height. I mean, we were very lucky because we were able to walk around Silverstone and use some of the actual proper photographer holes. So those shots are for me much better because I was able to get a bit more closer to the action. Another good Rebellion one as well, and we're back to the start. Cool. All right, guys. I'm going to sign off there. I hope that I haven't rambled too much and been able to give you a few tips. So keep shutter speed kind of about 1/100th. Do your panning shots, get it on continuous shots as well. Make sure the light's really good as well, so you can drop right down. You can get your f-stop around about f9, f8, and you can really blur out that background and get the car nicely in focus. Anything else? Get your monopod, get your step, give yourself a bit of height. Even if you are 7 foot tall, being 8 foot tall is always going to be helpful like that as well. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say thank you for watching. I hope everybody's keeping well and enjoying their motor racing. You know, obviously we're all over in Japan at the moment with all that as well, and the Rugby World Cup. So I hope everybody's enjoying all the sport and action that's going on as well. I am off to Brands Hatch at the beginning of October. Bit of night racing going on, so that'll be really interesting to see if I can get some good photos of night racing as well. And I'm going to keep working on my panning shots. As I said before, guys, I'm not a pro yet, and I'm not very experienced with it as well. But so just to give it a go and just get those sort of shots, the difference between my Goodwood ones and this one is so much of a difference. I'm so pleased with them, but it's not done there. I haven't finished. That's not it. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep practicing and get those shots that you really want. So guys, good luck with your shots. Good luck with your photography if you're doing that. Yeah, peace out, guys. All the best.